The following is an exclusive presentation of Cablevision local programming, TV that's close to home.
At the helm in the village of Greenwood Lake, Mayor Barbara Moore next on Meet the Leaders. Good evening and welcome once again to Meet the Leaders. I'm your host, Terrence Mikas. Mayor of Greenwood Lake, Barbara Moore, has been in office now in her third year. Before that, she was a trustee. She says it's summertime. We're trying to keep the aesthetics of the village on the cutting edge, having commercial ratables come in if they can, and make the master plan work so that the taxes can stay down. We're going to talk about a lot of things going on in Greenwood Lake right now. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Terrence.
So you were here for 2 years. It seemed like you weren't even in that long. I mean, time really does fly.
It goes too fast.
Now you're in your third year, and I don't mean this kind of tongue-in-cheek. Do you feel like, you are the mayor now? Because usually it takes 6 months before you feel like you're even in that position.
You know what? Titles aren't real important. I think it's the person that does the job and gets it done is the important part. The label.
Do you know what I mean? Like when my wife was married, my name wasn't really her name for a while. It took her a while to get there.
It's very true. It's very true. I've been just to divert a little. Sure. I've been married for now going on 15 years, and it's just this past year that I've really accepted that Moore name.
14 years.
Yeah, poor
Jim.
You're
tough.
Poor Jim. But in business, a business life,
you have you're known a certain way, and
absolutely.
You don't want to switch. Same a lot of actors and actresses.
I truly love being the leader of my community. The title of mayor is I guess
secondary.
Really is secondary, and it's most important that the community does have someone there that's going to better their tax rate. Sometimes residents don't like to hear that. They like to have the status quo, but need to have an education to the fact that we need that commercial business to come in.
Well, you have Woodbury Commons, right?
Yes, we certainly.
And that helps you. But I think a lot of people have heard, sort of in general sense, that this MTA tax is out there. But they don't understand, some people, how much that's going to affect them. Mortgage taxes aren't coming in. Sales taxes are a little down. All of that is money out of the till that you have to find either by cutting services, right, or raising taxes.
In the village of Greenwood Lake, we did do a very unique thing for our Orange County area, and that was to consolidate services. Now this is our second year where we've contracted with the town of Warwick to provide DPW services to the community. We were looking at a budget line of about $800,000 for DPW services. That's our own staff. That's buying utility trucks, sweepers.
The Department of Public Works.
Right, the Department of Public Works.
And that's a natural.
It is. It's to a municipality. You have to have one. But do you have to have one that you're paying? You have to buy equipment and trucks and pavers and in the town of Warwick, which the village of Greenwood Lake is a part of, we do pay town taxes too. Sure. Part of those town taxes does go to purchase equipment that we would borrow on occasion, but never had full use of. Now, in this contract with this consolidation, we have the ability to, the commissioner says, we need to bring the paver over to Greenwood Lake to do this job. It's done. It's not, we'll put you on the list, which used to.
And two municipalities aren't paying for the same thing,
Absolutely.
Which of course really cuts costs.
It does cut costs.
Some people don't like to do that in municipalities because they feel like they lose their, I don't want to call sovereignty because we're talking about small, municipalities, but just their identity. But in terms of business, it's smart.
Oh, it's smart business. It really is. And you know what? It's not only more municipalities should be looking at it. The governor is saying, we should be consolidating these small municipalities, and have them go in with the towns. I don't believe that, because I think that villages can run very efficiently, and probably more efficiently than state government, most definitely. We have a better handle on our budget lines, and because we're small, it does make it a little easier. But I think that local government can do many, many things to decrease their budgets. And
well, that's one of the things actually Governor Patterson, is getting some support on, because he's not really having a great ride right now. I mean, through his own fault a lot of ways, and also just the climate we're in, both things. But that's one thing he got support. Attorney General Cuomo supported it. A number of Republicans in the Mid-Hudson Valley have supported that idea.
He's gotten a lot of press throughout the country for
consolidating, but you say you don't think it's the best way to go.
I really don't.
Yeah.
I think consolidating within the municipalities is a mechanism mayors should look at. Do I think the town of Warwick is so big and broad that maybe the lines of the town maybe should be divided differently? Do I think school districts are, which is our largest, tax consumer?
That's a whole other issue about that.
But residents that don't know do think that the village has, or the town has, control over the schools, and we don't.
Right, so you want to say all your school property taxes do not come from the village of Greenwood Lake or the town of Warwick?
We have no control over that. It's it's a separate taxing district, and it's brutal.
Yeah.
It's really brutal. It's the biggest issue.
Do you think with all this, though, Mayor, do you think that coming up in your budget now, I mean, you're going through budget times.
Yeah.
But you're preparing for.
Well, we don't prepare. We're on a villages go on a
March cycle.
June to
like
May.
Like school then, almost like school districts.
Almost like school.
Right. So you're always looking. Are we going to have to raise taxes?
We look constantly. I get my budget. On a daily basis, and I'm looking to see who's over, who's under. But believe me, our department heads.
You do it with a smile, right?
Well, sometimes. Yeah. But, our department heads are very conscious of our $3.1 million budget. No, we cannot and don't have the ability or want to have the ability to raise our taxes. This MTA tax is a burden. It's something that we didn't have in our budget line, that we have to adjust now, take something away from another department to pay for it.
It's not just a burden, it's so political.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
And it's so unfair. And I'm not using that like a little person saying, it's really unfair to this area, and it was shoved through for political reasons, and it's really tough on the residents.
Have you seen, I'm sure you have, Bloomberg's advertisements now. Of course, he's campaigning, but he's saying, let the city take the MTA over. Yeah. We don't want the MTA in the state anymore. Yeah. So I'm composing a letter to Michael to say, listen, come and talk to us. We'll show you support, because this shouldn't be a burden on people in the Orange County area. A small percentage of them who do use the MTA. To have to pay for this, it's just. Well,
incredible. We could do the whole show on that.
Definitely.
But so you basically want to try to keep taxes down to almost nothing. You're looking at cost-cutting measures. It's difficult though, because you've lost a lot of revenue through the MTA, things like that. Master plan also is sort of connected to that, because if you can bring in, commercial in the right place, you can get ratables to offset that. You're looking at the zoning. You're saying that, to make sure I'm correct, that the zoning in the master plan in Greenwood Lake is pretty good, but in the years past, sometimes it wasn't always followed to the letter.
Some things have slipped through the cracks, yes, where in the village of Greenwood Lake, our master plan calls for resort commercial areas. We are a resort area. Through the years, this is how the village was established. It was established as grand hotels along the lake with visitors coming in. And that's the way Greenwood Lake was in the 20s. Through the years and through the economy with rises and falls, as we're experiencing now, a lot of those summer bungalows have turned into full-time residences, and the residences have been developed really lovely. Greenwood Lake is a very lovely place. It's an investor's dream right now. If people are coming into the community and buying up homes that have been.
Say it that way, buying up. I know you don't mean it. It's almost like this negative. People are buying it up so they can.
I'm not saying buying it up and flipping them. It's not the big. Yeah. But people are coming into the community and buying homes.
Because it's a nice community.
Oh, it's incredible. It is such a lovely community and totally undiscovered. You know, there's people in our own town that have never been to Greenwood Lake, that have driven through it many, many times, but have never stopped in. And once they do, they're totally wowed because it is spectacular. But you know, there's great investment possibilities in Greenwood Lake. We have in our resort commercial areas, in our highway commercial areas, in our business commercial districts, we have parcels available.
Right, but a prospect, are you working with?
We are working.
Chamber of Commerce and things like that?
I was just talking with the president of the Chamber this morning and encouraging.
See, I didn't know that.
I was encouraging him because we do have this very special lot that we are working with a local bank to build a bank office, but they want to share it with someone. So we're working with the Chamber to say, listen, let's find someone to partner with the bank, build a new building in our highway commercial strip. It benefits the residents, it benefits the commuters, it benefits the visitors, and the municipality as a whole.
So there's a lot going on, though, in that beautiful community. I mean, you have so many things going. You have the triathlon coming in.
We have the triathlon,
now,
September
that's a big
13th.
event, right?
Right, 300 participants. They will swim a half-a-mile swim right off the Thomas P. Moorham Waterfront Park, which is a beautiful venue. Then they get out of the water, they get their bikes, and they're going to ride 17.9 miles around the lake. So that takes them through the village, into the town of Warwick, into the township of West Milford, and back through to the village. And then they rack their bikes and then they run 4 miles.
Wow.
It's called a sprint, believe it or not.
Well,
I don't know if
I
I could do it.
If they're in shape, it is a sprint. Not to me or you, but some people it is.
But it's a great event, and all the proceeds from the triathlon, after we pay all our bills, goes back into the community and pays for all of our summer concert series.
A lot of people come in and they put a lot of dollars into
Absolutely.
the community.
You know, it's they
eat,
after the event, they're going to go to a restaurant along the water, and or they're going to stop in at a coffee shop. So it does bring people to the community. They often visit real estate offices also. And
how much planning has gone into this? I know this is like, what, the 13th
year?
So how much planning goes into this, or is it more like a turnkey operation
It's
now?
pretty much a turnkey operation now. You know, we hire a person that comes in and does the timing. All the participants receive a chip, and they have to attach the chip to them. They run over mats, and that's what keeps their time. It's pretty spectacular.
So
it's very early in the morning too. So the race starts at.
Then.
Oh, it's beautiful. The lake is usually nice and flat. It's 8:30 in the morning. And they're out, and we're done and cleaned up by noon. So
really?
it's a fast
and then
event.
Afternoon is when all the partying and everything
Absolutely,
happens.
absolutely. Then we turn them, all 300 participants, over to all our commercial establishments in the community.
Okay. We're going to take a break, and then when we get back, we're going to talk a lot more. There's so much more to talk about with Barbara Moore, a Village of Greenwood Lake mayor, so please stay there. We'll be right back.
Stronger, healthier babies. It's what the March of Dimes is all about. Learn more about healthy babies at marchofdimesbaby.org.
It's never too early to start reading to your kids. There are amazing possibilities when you open a child's mind to reading. Explore new worlds. Read.
Real men know that getting tested is the way to take care of their families. That's why real men wear gowns. For a list of the tests you need, go to ahrq.gov.
I knew I needed to go to college to get a good job. In high school, some of the other kids would drive by in their nice cars while I was riding my bike, but I didn't really mind because my goal was bigger than those things. So I talked to my guidance counselor at school, and he told me about federal student aid. They have over $80 billion to help kids like me go to college. So I filled out the free application, and now I'm in college. My name is Chris. I'm going to be a medical assistant. I'm going to help people.
And welcome back to Meet the Leaders. I'm your host, Terrence Micus. My guest is Village of Greenwood Lake Mayor Barbara Moore. You know, when I look at you, you have a lot of energy and you seem enthusiastic about things, but it's tough times, not just for you, for everybody. I mean, the money, if you're just joining us, money is a little sparse.